This gospel is so great. It's so great. What did I tell you before? I told you what you need is what you have. What you have is what you need. Everybody wants it. Everybody can create it. Everybody needs it. It's a simple word. Peace. Peace be with you. The doors are locked. What's that mean? They're scared. What's that mean? They're afraid. What's that mean? People are intimidating them. They're afraid. They close the door. Like when you go to bed at night, you throw the covers over your head so the ghosts can't get you. Whatever it is that frightens you, failure, your job, the death or the life of a child, we're scared. We lock the doors. Jesus comes through the doors and stands in the midst. Jesus is always standing where there is problems. He may be standing where you're having a good time, and that's fine. But he is always around when there are problems. It almost looks as if he's courting you into failure and scaring you with false promises. He does not. He does not. He is trying to tell you, I don't give a damn if the doors are locked. I'm coming through. I'm going to be here in the midst of you. I don't care. I'm going to be here with you. That's the first part of this gospel. In Bethlehem, we have the peace of the angels and the shepherds. It's quiet. It's quiet. Glory. That's peace. It's a nice peace. It's oh come ye, oh come all ye faithful. It's a nice Christmassy, open your presents, drink a little eggnog kind of peace. December 26th is the same damn thing, but there's no singing of it's gone. We love that kind of peace for Christmas time. We don't want our children to know how much Christmas cost. We don't tell our children. We only tell our spouses that. Or we tell the priest that when he comes talking about a capital fund. We don't want anybody to be disturbed by that economic peace. Meanwhile, all around us, Iraq, bombs are bombing, people are dying, children are being maimed. And we stand around looking at each other as if we have not found an answer. The peace of life is, there is violence, there is lying, there is addiction, there is molestation, there is terrible, terrifying war, there is all that. What peace can we use to make this disappear? Day in and day out living. Day in and day out living. Working to help people feel better, saying thank you, apologizing when you've been a jackass, realizing who are the important people in your life and how do you treat them? How do you treat them? Like dirt? We treat the secretaries better. People, they know what their wife is wearing. They don't know what their wife is wearing, but they know what their hired hands are wearing. What's happened to our values? He walks to the doors and says, come here. He shows them his hands. He shows them his side. He's talking about real life. What is he saying? He's saying this. I'd go through hell and back to save you again. That's the kind of peace I want you to have in your heart. The kind of peace that says no matter what happens, I am here, I am not there, I will never leave you ever, ever, ever. That is reality, folks, because pain is real, depression is real. Kid came to see me today about depression. You ever go to the 7 o'clock Mass? Come. Do you take medicine? Yeah, all right, I don't give medicine. I'm no psychiatrist. I can't give you medication. But I know my friends who have had medication, and they're no longer depressed. But they worked at it. You can't just depend on medicine. Have you ever said hello to anybody at Queen of Apostles you don't know? Have you ever volunteered? Have you ever asked the question, can I participate in this life? How do you think the world's going to get better if we don't make it better? It's not the atom bomb. It's not nuclear war. It's not, that hasn't worked yet. It's not drinking till you're drunk, drugging till you're loaded. His disciples rejoiced. Here's the question. Why would his disciples rejoice after they saw the side and saw the hands? After seeing this, here, it's right here. They see it, they get happy. How can you be happy over wounds? Maybe they're slap happy. Peace be with you. When he had said this, he showed them his hands and his side. When they saw the Lord, they rejoiced. Why would they rejoice? Wake up. Why would they rejoice? How can you rejoice at somebody else's pain? He says, here I am. And he puts his hands down and they rejoice. Oh, goody, goody. Doesn't seem to click. Koreans say it, machian sumida. It doesn't match. It doesn't click. What am I thinking of? Why would they rejoice? Is the question too difficult? Is the question not clear? Say it again. He says, peace be with you, and he says, peace be with you. Then he says, take a look. And they look and say, great. Instead of saying, terrible. Oh, you did this for me. You did this for me. You died for me. We're sinners. I don't know if you can hear my tit, but that's too bad. That's too bad. That's too bad. Why do they say it's wonderful? Anybody want to take a guess? Do I have to come down in the crowd and embarrass you? Because he's with them again. Does that make any sense? Despite the fact he got punched in the mouth, kicked in the jaw, spat upon, he was there saying, peace, I love you, love each other. He's either crazy or Jesus Christ. He either brings phoniness or he brings peace. The kind of peace that makes you look at somebody suffering and saying, we're going to get better. Like I did this afternoon, you're going to get better, kid. I'm not a psychiatrist and I'm not a counselor, but I can tell you, if you do what I'm telling you, because this is what peace is, everything's going to be all right. Then what happens? He sends them forth. He sends them forth. For what reason? To bring them forgiveness. I wish this book were small enough to carry. The disciples rejoiced when they saw Jesus. So he said to them again, peace be with you. As the Father has sent me, now I send you. As the Father sends me, Jesus, sent by the Father, this is what brings you peace. Taking the message and spreading it. Taking the message and sharing it. Taking the message and being proud you're a Christian. And when he had said this, he breathed on them and said, whose sins you forgive, they are forgiven. You have my power to forgive sins. I have that power to forgive sin. It's a startling power. But I have the chance as a priest to bring good news to somebody who's got a problem, with somebody whose marriage is shaking, somebody who's afraid to die, somebody who's locked up in prison, somebody who needs clothes, needs a job from the Ascent employment program. You see how this all hangs together? Peace be with you means I love you. Peace be with you means I send you. Peace be with you means let me put my hands in your side. Peace be with you means I send you. And peace be witness means for what? For forgiveness of sins. That's the whole gospel. Then after I prepare it, I look at it and say, tremendous. This is so good you should have it printed. The trouble is, I'm the only one in the room, so it never gets done. I know a lady who gets out of here as quickly as possible after the 5 o'clock Mass on Saturday so she can get home to hear my homily on television. That's what you call loyalty. That's what I call brains. But, Margaret, you're not laughing. I hope you are. Tonight we gather to listen to the Spirit. People have died that we might live. People have died that we might live again. People have died that we might never take our lives for granted.